Alright people, this is Brad the Lad back again with another video, and today it is the Phil Neville show. I hope you're all having a very, very happy Wednesday. Sorry, I have to sit like this because I had my nail removed yesterday. So, yeah, I have to rest, but that doesn't stop doing the videos. We are going to be talking about a good few topics this week. I have got a team of the week. I've got some statistics as well from the weekend. I've written down some Premier League predictions, and we're just going to talk football. But first, we've got the Phil Neville news. Well, he's recalled Jordan Nobbs, who's been doing the BBC coverage throughout the Women's World Cup. He has picked her back in the side, and he's picked the Great Britain team that is going to be competing in the Olympics. So good luck to Phil, and good luck to the ladies when that time comes. And Phil is also going to be training for Charlton Athletic today, so be watching out for that one. So what topics have I got for you today? So we need to talk about Tottenham with their current downfall in recent weeks. It's not going well for Maurizio Pochettino's side. I'll explain why in a moment. We've got our Newcastle and Watford relegation bound. Maybe early in the season, but these two sides are struggling like hell at the moment. Should Everton sack Marco Silva? Is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer on borrowed time? Manchester United against Rochdale predictions. We've got Team of the Week, and we've got our Prem predictions as well. So, that is the topics we're going to be going into today. We'll be talking about the League Cup results, and we will start now. So, let's talk about Tottenham Hotspur, because they do need some talking about, and we need to find out what is going on at Spurs, because it's not a very happy place at the moment, is Tottenham Hotspur. Maurizio Pochettino has been there for 5 years now, and there's been talking about challenging for titles, being one of those teams to compete for Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues, and but they still have not won a trophy under Pochettino. And last night, we're going to bring the Carabao Cup in here, because Tottenham lost on penalties to Colchester United, the League Two side. Congratulations to Colchester. Me and my brother were watching the penalty shootout. My brother's an Arsenal fan, so obviously he was quite delighted that Colchester went through. It was obviously, I don't really have a problem with Spurs, but the fact that I like the underdogs having a chance. I always like to back the underdogs, unless it's against Man United, obviously. But hopefully that doesn't happen tonight to us as we face Rochdale. But yeah, it's been pretty miserable for Spurs this season. I mean, yeah, they've kept Christian Eriksen, and they've still got all the great players that they had from 2017 when they nearly won the title. In the last 3 years or so, okay, they've been good. With Tottenham, they've had their ups and downs, but this season though, it just seems to be all going wrong for Tottenham. Since the start of the season, they beat Aston Villa 3-1. They went to the Etihad and very, very fortunately got a draw against Man City. They lost to Newcastle, and they lost to Leicester at the weekend. They drew the North London derby. Then after the international break, they came back and won 4-0 against Crystal Palace, and then they drew 2-2 with Olympiacos. Lost to Leicester at the weekend, and they lost to Colchester on penalties last night. And Pochettino's been talking about how long the transfer's taking. His body language doesn't look good. I think, personally, Maurizio Pochettino will leave Tottenham Hotspur at the end of the season, or during any point of the season, because he doesn't look happy. It doesn't look like he's motivated to manage Spurs anymore. He's been there for such a long time, and it hasn't worked out in terms of winning trophies. There's all this potential people are talking about. I mean, in my opinion, Dele Alli, he's gone missing. In 2017 season, 16-17 campaign, they finished second, he was the light of the Tottenham team. He was one of the key players in that Spurs side. You know, and so is Harry Kane. You know, and I don't, Dele Alli, he's just gone missing. He's not the player he used to be. You know, and he's still got a very, very good career ahead of him, but I just don't think he's the player he was. I think he's gone downhill massively. I think Harry Kane as well. I think he's gone downhill massively too. He still scores goals, but he wasn't as good as he was back then. For a couple of seasons now, he's gone a bit down the drain. You know, I think he's going a bit downhill. If you understand what I mean, I don't know if I'm sure Tottenham fans will massively disagree with me, but you know, I don't think Tottenham is a very, very happy place at the moment. I don't think the players are happy at the moment. They seem to be struggling. They can't hold on to a lead. They keep making silly mistakes. The squad don't look happy. The manager doesn't look happy. I don't see Pochettino staying at Spurs next season. I really, really don't. I think it's going to be a very, very, very big struggle for them. And I think at the moment, I think they'll finish outside the top four. At the moment, I can't, because they just don't look happy. They just don't seem motivated. I just don't think. I think possibly, maybe Pochettino might have lost the dressing room. He said that they need to overcome these big agendas. So obviously they must have some sort of ego thing in the dressing room. I don't know exactly what he means. I haven't read the article yet, but I think that from what that sentence is saying, I think Tottenham have some egos inside possibly. So yeah, there's something clearly wrong at Tottenham at the moment, and it's not looking good for Maurizio Pochettino and Spurs. And I think congratulations to Colchester. They're going to the game this week. They play against Southampton at home. It's an important game. They have to win the game this weekend. I think it's a must-win for them if they're going to fight for the top four, because obviously they're not going to win the title. It's going to be Liverpool or City. But, again, it isn't looking very, very good for Tottenham. The next topic is, are Newcastle and Watford relegation bound? I think they are. I know it's early, it's 6 games into the season, but I think both clubs are quite doomed at the moment. Watford have a very, very good squad. They've got Deulofeu, they've got Troy Deeney, they've got Danny Welbeck. Capu's a good player. They've done quite a bit of business. Sar's a very good player, according to my brother. He knows about some players that I particularly don't. He looks like the other side. He looks like outside of England, really. So other players I might have not heard of. So I trust him. I say, Sar's a good player. And I think Watford have massively underperformed. They're struggling at the moment. Yep, they were very unlucky to not beat Arsenal. They went 2-0 down, pulled it back to 2-2 and a draw. They had 31 shots in the whole game. So obviously Watford played well, played a very, very good game. But the fact is that they're struggling. 8-0 against Manchester City. Okay, Manchester City are very, very capable of scoring 8 past anybody. But to actually, concede 8 in the Premier League in this modern day era, that is quite bad. I mean, the last time a team scored 8 goals was Southampton against Sunderland. Well, I've just given one of the stats away, but oh well, I could read it out again. But yeah, obviously, Watford, under Quique Sanchez-Flores, it doesn't seem to be that motivation. Decore is also a great player as well. That's what we're supposed to say. That they were just. I just don't think they gave a shit, really. I just thought, they just thought, right, it's Man City, it's impossible, we can't get anything here, we're going to lose, so just let them walk all over us. And, they did. They absolutely beat the shit out of them, did Man City. And fair play to them, winning the game as comfortably as that. The only positive, out of the weekend I can take is that we still hold the record of winning the highest Premier League thrashing, which is 9 when we scored 9 against Ipswich in the 1994-95 season, I think it was. So, you know, we still hold that record. City couldn't get the 9th. They did score 9 this year, though, against Burton in the Carabao Cup semi-finals last season. Well, I like to call, you know, I like to call it the Asda Cup because it's a crap competition. Asda, yeah, it's a great shop. Let Asda sponsor it. I'm calling it the Asda Cup from now on. That's what I'm calling it. That's what it's called now, the Asda Cup. So anyway, yeah, as I was saying, Newcastle as well joined 0-0 with Brighton. 1 win all season, not good enough. They played all right at Anfield against Liverpool. Can't expect anything to get a result from there against the quality of their team. They did beat Tottenham. That's their only win so far. They're not good enough. I think Newcastle United are going to be relegated from the Premier League, unfortunately. So yeah, I do think Newcastle and Watford will go down. I said at the start of the season, and I'm going to say it now. I think both sides are going to go down. Well, no, actually, I didn't say Watford would go down. I said they finished 16th. But now I do think Watford will go down into the Championship. Right, so the next question is: should Everton sack Marco Silva? Now, I saw before in the preview on the predictions from Charlie Nicholas, who's obviously you know him as a Soccer Saturday pundit, and he said Everton are a couple defeats away from sacking Marco Silva. They won last night in the Asda Cup. They won 2-0 against Sheffield Wednesday, and you know, at the weekend they lost 2-0 to Sheffield United at Goodison. And I think, you know, to lose, I mean, no disrespect to Sheffield United, you've done very, very well this season so far. You've proven me wrong. I thought you'd go down, but Sheffield United, you know, it's Marco Silva said Everton didn't deserve to lose the game. You know, but they lost to Villa, they've lost to Bournemouth, and now Sheffield United. I mean, you know, Bournemouth's a tough team. You know, and I'm not saying Sheffield United and Villa aren't, but you know they're a newly promoted side. You should be beating them, and I think Marco Silva has been heavily backed in the transfer window. With Moise Keane coming in, with Alex Iwobi coming in, signing Gomez on a permanent deal. You know, they've been very, very busy in the summer of Everton, and they've failed. I think they're massively underachieving. They've got a great squad that's very, very much capable of getting into the Champions League. And I think Marco Silva, I don't think he's the right man anymore for Everton. Yeah, he did well towards the end of the season. He had a bad spell. They stuck with him, Everton, and they ended up doing really, really well. Beating Chelsea 2-0. It was 4-0. Arsenal 1-0. And they finished the season unbeaten. You know, I think the last defeat, the weekend's defeat against Sheffield United was their first defeat since losing to Man City on the 6th of February. I think, you know, Sheffield United did themselves proud there. But yeah, I do think Everton, you know, I think they should get rid of Marco Silva. I don't think he is the right man. And I think there's a lot of Everton supporters not feeling that Marco Silva's the right man. I know they beat Sheffield Wednesday last night, but no disrespect to Sheffield Wednesday. I really like Sheffield Wednesday. I think, you know, still don't think he's the right man. I don't think a lot of Everton fans are thinking he is either. Managers who you could consider to come in, I mean, I know it's early in the season, but Chris Wilder's done an excellent job at Sheffield United. I won't be surprised if Everton tried to go for him, you know, to appoint him as their manager. You know, Javi Gracia, he did very, very well at Watford last season. Didn't start the season too well. I knew he would be the first manager to go. You know, I thought he'd leave after the West Ham game, but they got a 1-1 draw at Newcastle. International break came, and they sacked him, and Quique Sanchez Flores came in. I think he is a good manager. I think he's very calm, and I think you know he did very, very well. You know, obviously knocking on the door of the Europa League places. They finished 11th eventually, and they got to the FA Cup final. So maybe he could be a good option for Everton. Maybe, you know, I'm sure Everton fans don't want to copy what Watford did, but you know, again, you know, Everton and Watford are now rivals. Now the next question I'm going to ask is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer on borrowed time? As a Manchester United fan, in my opinion, I've got a feeling that he is. I've heard something about Allegri becoming the United boss at Christmas time, and if this is true, that would be absolutely. I mean, look, I know what people are going to say. You know, not everything you read is true. I know that, but if this is true, and I hope it is true, because I don't have a problem with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I respect he's a treble winner. I know he's a legend at the club. Still don't think he's the right man. If he loses tonight against Rochdale, he's got to go. Absolutely got to go. Can't accept that if we lose to Rochdale. You know, it'll just show that he's lost the dressing room. Pogba's back in the team, which is good, but I'll get onto that in a moment. But I think he is on borrowed time. I think he is, you know, I don't think he is, you know, I just overall, you know, people saying, yeah, back Solskjaer, things will be alright. I wanted to believe that. You know, and I think I was just papering cracks. I predicted a 2-1 win for United to try and be positive, but deep down I knew we were going to lose. Because we had none of our key players available, and we have no attacking ambition, no magic, no creativity, and we just, you know, I just can't see, you know, the board is a problem. It's not all Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's fault. The board is the problem. But what I've heard is if Allegri comes in, we're going to give him £175 million to spend the transfer window. We did spend a lot of money under Mourinho, under Van Gaal. Didn't spend a lot under Moyes, obviously, but we signed 3 players who have improved the team. But I think he's on borrowed time. I really do. I don't think he's going to be there for a full-time basis now, because I think our last win was away at PSG. My last away win was against PSG in the Champions League, and that's not acceptable. Especially for Manchester United Football Club standards. So, you know, and I've heard rumours he's lost the dressing room. I don't think he can handle the big players. He looked like he could have done. You know, I think we should have stuck with him as the interim manager. Overall, I wasn't massively satisfied when we appointed him. I wasn't, you know, I wanted to, you know, obviously I did want to back him in some sort of way, try and support him, and hopefully he can make the team successful. But, you know, I think if we kept him on as interim manager and we appointed somebody else, I think it would have worked out. Maybe we might have been better. Maybe the board might have thought, right, we'll give you a good transfer budget. I just don't think Ole is the right man. I just really don't. I think tactically he's not great. Obviously I'm going to have people disagree with me. People seem to be patient, like the pundits, saying it's going to take 2 years, 5 years, whatever. You know, I think we will be all right again soon. But I just, yeah, it's not good at the moment. It's not good at all. The next question is the Man United versus Rochdale predictions. I'm going to go for a Manchester United 2, Rochdale 0 prediction. I don't think we're going to get a lot of goals. I think Greenwood's going to get 2 goals. I hope the young players can have an influence and, you know, free us up a little bit, and hopefully we can have a good evening. But if we lose to Rochdale, Ole has to go. Okay, team of the week now. Let's get the sheet out. Hang on a minute. These 2 pieces of paper are spare. Oh yeah, they're under here. How did I not see that? I'm getting a bit better, but the cold's still there. Still got horrible cough. Right, team of the week. So my goalkeeper, I'm going to go with Kasper Schmeichel. I thought he played very, very well against Spurs. Left back, Aaron Cresswell. That is the best free kick I've ever seen, and I'm not exaggerating, and I'm not overreacting. That is, and you know, it was against Man United, but Aaron Cresswell take a bow. That is the best free kick I've ever seen in my lifetime so far. There's probably been better in some people's opinion, but for me, Aaron Cresswell, in my opinion, that is the best free kick I've ever seen. So fair play to you. David De Gea really had no chance. Nathan Ake played very, very well against Southampton in the 3-1 win. Got a goal as well. So, you know, and he helped Bournemouth win. So Bournemouth, you know, he gets into my back four for team of the week. Fabian Schär's my next defender. His goal line clearance really impressed me. The one he did against Brighton, brilliant. Fantastic clearance off the line. Good clearance. And Fabian Schär gets the other centre-back role. At right back, Trent Alexander-Arnold for the beautiful free kick he scored against Chelsea. He is just absolutely sensational. My midfield three have gone with Phil Billing of Bournemouth. Got an assist, makes very, very good high attacking runs from the midfield. He played excellently, got an assist for the second goal for Harry Wilson. He is in the midfield. Kevin De Bruyne, what can you say about this man? He's like Messi. He's like Messi, a midfield Messi. Just great at passing the ball, not human. He scored an absolute stunner in that Watford game, the 8-0 win for City, and he's in my team of the week. James Maddison as well, cracking goal he scored against Tottenham. He's a brilliant midfield, James Maddison. Hope he comes to United one day. My front three, I've gone with Yarmolenko. Played very, very well, scored a decent goal against us at the weekend. On the left, I've gone for Jota. Wolves got a last gasp goal against Crystal Palace. Joe Ward's fault. Sorry, can't talk properly, can I? And Sergio Aguero. I heard Aguero had a poor game, but Aguero, I said he would get his 100th Etihad goal to become the third, would get his 100, score 100 goals at the Etihad in the Premier League. And I said he'd do it against Watford, and he did. So he gets into my team of the week. Thank you, Sergio. That's the only time I'm going to thank you in my life. So, let's go through my Premier League predictions, and we'll go through some stats. Then we'll do the Asda Cup results. So, at the weekend, Sheffield United versus Liverpool. This game's live on BT Sport. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for Liverpool. I think Sheffield United will give Liverpool a big test, but I think the Reds will overcome it. They could prove too strong for Sheffield United, possibly. I think it could be a tight game. I think Sheffield United might have one or two surprises for Liverpool, and I think the Reds will just about come away with the victory. So I'm going to go Sheffield United 1, Liverpool 2. Next game, Aston Villa against Burnley. That's a difficult one to predict because Burnley, on their day, can turn up and play very, very well. I don't think it's going to be an excellent game. I think it's going to be a boring game. I think it's going to be Aston Villa 1, Burnley 1. Bournemouth West Ham. This is usually quite a cracking game, particularly at the Vitality Stadium. There's been a few exciting encounters between these two. Both are in good form. Bournemouth looking to win their third straight game in a row. 3-1 wins over Everton and Southampton. And West Ham obviously beat Manchester United. And they are in very, very good form. They're unbeaten in 3 games. And I think Bournemouth are going to edge this one because they're at home. I think it'll be an absolutely fantastic game. I'm going to go for Bournemouth 3, West Ham 2. Next, it's Chelsea. Frank Lampard is yet to win at Stamford Bridge as the Chelsea manager. They will face Brighton this week, who haven't won since the opening weekend of the season. against Watford. Do I think Chelsea are going to win their first home game under Lampard? Yes, I do. I think it will be Chelsea 3, Brighton 1. Next game, Crystal Palace against Norwich. A difficult one to predict. Palace are very inconsistent at Selhurst Park. They are unbeaten at Selhurst Park this season. Norwich, not particularly great away from home. They didn't really have a great day at Burnley. But I do think Norwich, I have a feeling that they're going to win this one. I think it will be Crystal Palace 0, Norwich 2 in this game. I think Daniel Farke's team will get 3 points in this one. Next game, I should say, is the Pochettino derby. Tottenham Hotspur against Southampton. I said this is a must-win game for Spurs. Do I think Spurs will win? Yes, I do. I think Tottenham are going to win this game 2-0. They can't afford to drop any points in this one. Next game is a big relegation clash. Wolverhampton Wanderers against Watford. Do I think Watford are going to lose 8-0 again? No, I don't. Do I think they'll lose again? Yes, I do. I think Wolves are going to actually get their first win of the season. I think they're going to win the game by 2-0. Everton against Manchester City. Marco Silva's under big pressure, and it won't get any easier as Pep's team are coming to Goodison. I think this is going to be an excellent game. Again, I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. And I think Everton are going to have a very busy evening at Goodison. I'm going to go for Everton 2, Manchester City 4. So the Sunday game, there's one game this week. Leicester against Newcastle. Brendan Rodgers' team are doing really well. Another win last week against obviously Tottenham. Their only defeat this season has come against Manchester United. Get in. And they face Newcastle at home. And I think Leicester are going to get another win. I think they're going to win this game by 2-0 at the King Power Stadium. Manchester United against Arsenal, the big game of the weekend. I think both teams are labelled as Banter FC. Personally, I think we are the true Banter FC. I don't think either side are going to win this one. I think it will be a 1-1 draw, Old Trafford. I can't see anything separating the two teams this weekend. Well, on Monday, really. So, yeah, that is my Premier League predictions. Let me know yours. Now, I've got some stats for you. Sergio Aguero scored 100 Premier League goals at the Etihad. Yeah, I've given that away. Obviously, the last team before Man City to score 8 in the Premier League was Southampton when they beat Sunderland 8-0 back in 2014. Chris Wood scored his 23rd and 24th goals for Burnley in the 2-0 win over Norwich, and 5 of his past 6 have been headers. Peter Crouch holds the record with 53, obviously. Peter Crouch has retired now, and he played for Burnley last season. And the last one was Maurizio Pochettino managed his 250th game in the 2-1 loss to Leicester. Wasn't a happy one, was it? Now I'm going to talk about the Carabao Cup. Obviously, there's still some games to be played. I'll try and do some more videos. I'm going to be doing a Phil Neville training video later with Charlton Athletic. And then I'm going to be following the Carabao Cup draw, which I will look at later. So, the Carabao Cup games, I've got like 3 results on here, but I'll try to tell you some. So obviously you know that Tottenham lost last night in the Asda Cup. That's what I like to call it now. In the Asda Cup, Tottenham lost on penalties to League 2 side Colchester. They've beaten 2 Premier League sides now. Crystal Palace, then Spurs. We'll do the draw next. I like to predict the draw sometimes. I like doing that. I might do that later on. I have a feeling that hang on a minute. I won't spoil it all for you. I'll tell you in a moment, just in case you don't know. But yeah, the other results: Arsenal won 5-0 against Nottingham Forest. Very, very good performance from their youth players. Obviously, Martinelli got 2 goals for Arsenal. Willock, Nelson, Rob Holding also got on the score sheet as well. Man City, the cup holders, they've won the Carabao Cup 2 years in a row. Looking to win a hat-trick of Carabao Cups. Won 3-0 at Championship Preston. Southampton, this is the game I watched last night, won against their fierce rivals Portsmouth by 4-0. Danny Ings got 2. A goal from Cedric and a goal from Redmond. Also, in other games, we had Everton winning 2-0 against Sheffield Wednesday. Leicester won 4-0 against Luton. I wouldn't be surprised if they targeted the Carabao Cup as a possible trophy they could win. Crawley Town. Benbow Game is a Crystal Palace fan, but he lives in Crawley. His local team beat Stoke on penalties. They beat Norwich at the Premier League in the last round. They beat Stoke this time. My prediction, I think Crawley will draw Arsenal at home at the Broadfield, at the People's Pension Stadium. I've always called it the Broadfield Stadium, but it kind of is and kind of isn't. I think City will draw Colchester as well. And there's some games on tonight as well. Liverpool on action against MK Dons. That's a live fixture tonight. There's a fly in the room. There always are. Chelsea at home to Grimsby Town. Manchester United obviously face Rochdale. West Ham are away to Oxford United. And yeah, there's a few other games as well. I can't remember all of them, but yeah, Wolves are playing Reading, I think, tonight as well. So that should be interesting. Then it's a Carabao Cup draw later. I mean, the Asda Cup. That's what I like to call it now. The Asda Cup. Bournemouth's in action in the Asda Cup too against Burton. Hopefully they don't lose 9-0. Sorry, Burton fans. I wish you the best of luck. I hope you reach the semi-finals again. So yeah, that's the Carabao Cup as I can remember it, really. I mean, Asda Cup, Brad. Asda Cup, that's how you'll call it now. So yeah, the Asda Cup is back in action. We've gone 32 minutes, 2 minutes over. I don't mind. So, this week, what game am I commentating on? If you're interested, I'm going to do Queen's Park Rangers versus West Bromwich Albion. It's going to be a good game. The last few meetings, I've had some research on the last few meetings. It's goals galore between these two teams. I remember in the 14-15 season when both sides were in the Premier League, it finished 3-2 at Loftus Road to QPR. As current West Brom striker Charlie Austin scored a hat-trick in that game as West Brom took a 2-0 lead. And in the next fixture in 2015 at the Hawthorns, QPR won 4-1. That was their second away win of the season under Chris Ramsey, and Tony Pulis as the West Brom manager. It was a bad day for West Brom. I thought they'd win the game quite comfortably before it. So QPR won 4-1. And then they didn't play each other in the 15-16, 16-17 season or the 17-18 campaign. And they met twice last season in the Championship. And West Brom won 7-1. Steve McLaren was the manager at the time. West Brom won 7-1. And then in the next game at Loftus Road, West Brom won 3-2. So West Brom did the double over QPR. Both teams are doing well. Mark Warburton's doing a very, very good job at QPR. I think they're in the playoff places at the moment at QPR. West Brom, the only unbeaten team in the Championship at the moment. So it should be a good game. Kickoff is at 12:30, I think it is, or 12:15, around that time. So I'm looking forward to that one. I'm gonna watch a few more Championship games as well as the Premier League. So yeah, it's going to be good. So thank you guys for watching. It's been an excellent show. for the Phil Neville show today. I'll be doing a training session video later. I hope you can all get into touch and give me your opinions on stuff. And I shall see you all soon for next week's episode. Goodbye.